Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome. So in today's video, I'll be making my monthly reading wrap up for all the books that I've read in the month of June. And so for the month of June, I was expecting myself to read at least 8 books. That means 2 books each week. And then I added some more, I think 3 or 4 options. But then out of all the books, I've only managed to read 5. Yeah, you heard me, only 5. And that was a little bit sad, making me feel a little bit disappointed, just a little bit. Maybe because I started off June by reading quite a heavy book, and that really brings my mood down a little bit, and it affected my reading month all the way to the end of June. So but 5 is still a big number. 5 is good, right? So hopefully this month it's much better. And I already lowered down my expectations, and so yeah. Right now, let's get into all the books that I've read in the month of June. So the first book that I want to share with you guys is by Louise O'Neill, Almost Love. This is actually a dark, unflinching story that looks into female obsession and also toxic relationship. And for this book, I give it 4 stars out of 5. So the book has dual timeline, the past and also the present, and it follows Sarah, a struggling art teacher that meets a billionaire, Matthew. He's actually one of the parents of the kids that she teach, and for me, at first it was like okay, their relationship, their meetings was okay, but eventually you will find out that Matthew only seek pleasure with her, specifically her body. He always wanted to meet Sarah in the same hotel, in the same room number, and every time Sarah goes there, it's always the same thing. Matthew only wants, to have pleasure with her body. So once he's done, he's done. He will leave, and then I would say never really contacted Sarah after that. No text, no whatsoever. And every time he comes back, every time he seeks Sarah, it's always just for that. And then one day, Sarah actually told her friend about it, and then I would say that everyone told her to end it, but she never really listened. And because she thought that Matthew really loves her. And then one day, when Matthew brings her back to his place, Sarah learns that Matthew still loves her wife, her ex-wife. They were separated, but Matthew actually still try to get back together with his ex-wife. And once Sarah found out about that was the moment Sarah actually listened to everyone's, like, whatever it is, her voice, everyone's voice, like that telling her to stop meeting Matthew and have any association with him. And then finally Sarah listens, but eventually that things developed as a traumatic experience for her. It affected Sarah current life and relationship. She met a new man. He was quite okay, he was good, but then because of that past experience, Sarah treated the man really poorly. Her anger, her stresses, everything's just always explode, even on small things. So that was really hard for me to read, because I was like, oh, Sarah, he's a good man, I mean, give him a chance. But Sarah never did. It affected her life completely. And eventually, I would say Sarah also lost her current relationship. They just will never made it. And so Sarah goes back to her hometown, back with her father, and then that's it. I think it gives you a lot of space to think about, these things, these situations, because I feel like this could happen in real life, right? And it also can happen with you, although not exactly like that, but similar experience. Because honestly speaking, that's what I experienced before. Not exactly that, just similar vibe. And it was really hard for me. I fall into depression. I fall into, my mental health was struggling over it. So, but I'm glad I'm much better now. For now, let's not see this as a bad book. I think it has a lot lessons to teach. It's still a good read for me. That's why I give it a 4 stars. It was so deep. It was so heavy for me that I feel like, I don't know, it's really hard to read something light after this book. But I still did. It's a good book, so I do recommend you guys to read this, but just beware. You're definitely gonna be having a roller coaster feeling, emotions, everything. So just beware. But I recommend you guys to read this. So the second book is The Curse by Harper L. Woods. This is the second book in the Coven series, and it is a dark romantasy, enemies to lovers trope, and I give it a 4 stars out of 5. So I kind of see different reviews for this book. Some people love it, some people don't. Some people say that the first book is much better than this one, but regardless, I still feel like it's as good as the first book, and I give it a 4 star. That is quite high, I know. I'm just not satisfied enough with the ending of this book, and really shocking to say, people say that that's it for this couple. That's the ending for them in this book, because what I know, that book is about different couple. Maybe they will appear in the books, but the main character would be different person, not the person in this book anymore. So yeah, how should I review this book? It's a continuation from the first book, and it was kind of getting really intense now. The first half of this book, the second book, it always has the, what do you call that, the intimate relationship scene between the character, and then after that you will see that there's a war coming, I would say, like that, but it's not yet there. It's only like the beginning, the starting point of the war, and it ends just like that. It ends. I know I am not good at telling stories for this fantasy book, but I think you should just imagine that in your head. Like at the end of this book, the new couple that will be written in the third book fell into a pit hell that has a lot of, demons inside. The girl is a woman with magic, and the man is actually Beelzebub. And then you know what happens next. I think they would have a war with the angels really soon. And last but not least, I would say, after all that happened, the main character, both female and male, eventually, I would say, strengthen their relationship, and now I would say they are quite powerful in a way, and I'm excited to see the war. But I don't know, I feel like I'm not satisfied with the ending. It should have been more. Oh, they got married at the end. So that's it. That's all I can say. You should read this book. It's still good. Don't really think about all the reviews you see online. Just go with your own interest to read it. So the next book that I'm going to share is a romance book by Catherine Center, Hello Stranger, and I give this book a 4 star out of 5. So Hello Stranger is actually a romance book. It follows Sadie, a struggling portrait artist who almost got her breakthrough from a contest, but then she got into an accident and eventually her brain needed urgent surgery. After the surgery, she actually developed a face blindness effect. She couldn't see people's face. She can see people but not the face, but she can see dogs. She can see the face of a dog, especially her dog. I know, it's weird, but it's really unique. This is the first time that I see a story like this. And after the surgery, she needs to learn how to navigate her lives, while also struggling in managing her complex love triangle thing with her Superman neighbor. I would say Superman because he's always there when there's trouble, and also her dog's vet. So yeah, while also keeping the things hidden from them. And there's only one thing I would like to say. There's a very cute plot twist happening at the end of the book. I really like this book. It was really shocking for me, and I was like, at first it feels a little bit slow. I was like screaming for the intimacy. I was screaming for the tension, but it was so hard to get them. And when I see the plot twist, it's so cute, but it was, I would say, satisfying at the same time. And I was like, oh my god, that is so sweet. I'm still happy that it has a happy ending. So 4 out of 5. I recommend you guys go read it. It's a good romance story. And next I have another romance story by Lucy Score, Things We Hide from the Light. This is a small town romance, and it is the second book in the Knockabout series. I've read the first one last year and I just finished this last month. This is the one of the books that I've read from the other options that I prepared, and I really like this one. I give it also a 4 star out of 5, and let's talk about it. So this is really a cute story between a traumatized police chief, Nash, and also a secretive badass insurance investigator, Lena. And they were really cute. I think I would say, I can safely say this is a grumpy sunshine trope, but the grumpy one is actually the lady, not the man, because the man has trauma. He was trying so hard to remember things from the past to help with the investigation, but then that's the problem, he cannot. And then when Lena moves like next door to him, things started to change, and it was a little bit weird in the beginning because every time Lena was with Nash, I feel like I would say Nash was getting better, but only when Lena's around. And I feel like it was forced proximity as well, but I don't know, kind of in the unique but weird way. And the romance was way too rushed. I feel like sometimes it was rushed, you know, kind of like that. That's the vibe I'm getting from this story. So this book is actually a continuation from the first book, but Nash was trying to figure out the hideout of Duncan Hugo, because he vanished from the first book. I think something really happened in the first book in the end. I thought I knew, I remember, but then reading this book I was really shocked. I think I would say it has a twist that I wasn't really expecting it. It has a good twist at the end. The first half of the book mostly about the couple's banter, the tension, because you know, grumpy sunshine trope, you know what I mean. And then at the end of it, it has a happy ending. Duncan Hugo was defeated. I just hope that the action could have been a little bit more than that. I feel like this is the book, this is the thickness of the book, and then the plot, the action is only this much. Yeah, you know, from this and then action this much. I really don't like that. I was hoping to be a little bit more, but it's still a good read. So if you guys want to read this book, go read it. It is still a good read. And I would also say it has a fun family trope, because Lena eventually stay there, married to Nash, have kids with Nash. It's a twin, guys. And then yeah, it's a happy ending. I won't say much about the action because of the twist. So if you guys want to know, you have to read it. Still a good one. And I eventually understand the meaning behind this title, Things We Hide from the Light, because Lena at first was really secretive about what she's about her job, and then Nash also didn't really tell anyone about the trauma, the panic attacks, and all the pain that he's, you know, feeling, other than with Lena. So I think that's really what this book is all about. So go read it. I still recommend you guys to read this. And finally, we have Summer in the City by Alex Esther. I give this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I know. Let's talk about this book. I don't hate the book, I just don't love it enough to give it a higher rating. This is a romance book that based on New York City experience vibe, and it follows Elle. I'm going to just read my notes here. It follows Elle, a blog screenwriter who moves next door to her former stairwell fling, which is now a tech billionaire, and then strike a deal to fake date in order to help them both through the summer. Yeah. Okay, so I have quite a long review on my books, so if I keep looking down, then I'm actually reading the review. It's really long, I couldn't remember everything, so bear with me, yeah? And then I have written a pros and also cons for this book. So, the pros. I really like romance story where it mentioned about the complex life that the character have in the past, whether it is between themselves or with their family or whatever it is. I really like that. And when it mentioned in the books, I really like that because it gives you a heads up what you're expecting later in the book. And then I also really like the act of service, the quality time that is really portrayed in this book, especially by the male character. I really like that. And that's my pros for this book. I have a lot of cons. I know, I think I have more than 3. So the first one, are you ready for this? So the first one, for me, I feel like the plot could be polished just a little bit more, because I feel like there's many parts that felt rushed and also sudden, and some doesn't even feel like they connect at all. It's weird. I don't know if that's because I read it really like fast, but I don't know, it feels like that. I don't know if that's just me. Yeah, but that's how I feel. I feel like it's not interconnected between these pages to these pages, this chapter to this chapter, this paragraph to this paragraph. It happens. I see a few parts of it, especially towards the end of it. So that's one of the cons. And the second one is, I did say that I really love when the author really tells you about the complex life that the character have beforehand, because it gives you a heads up. But for this book, I think just a few of it was written beforehand, and then some was introduced later. Like I said, it was really sudden, and I really don't like that. And then it's just really like that. Once it hits, then it's gone. That's how it is. I really like, what am I reading right now? It could have been more. So if this book is a little bit longer, I really don't mind. The third cons is that I feel like there's a character that is introduced later or in the middle, just for a brief moment, and that's it. I'm not, what is that? Why did you put her like that? Why did you put the characters in the book like that? Why? I really wonder why. It was really like come and go situation. Yeah. And that's the cons that I feel like really should be addressed, you know. Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird to do that. And the last cons is, for me, the character itself, the relationship that they have. I feel like it screamed red flag to me at some point, because later in the book they would separate just for a while. I don't know if it was really, I would say, separate, but they did. And then I just wish there could be a scene where, I mean, especially for the men to feel hurt, you know, by the lady's action, by the woman's action, and just, you know, like distance himself, say things through. But then it's not happening in this book. It's just different. He didn't even get angry with her, like, why did you do this? Why? What really the matters? And he really just sacrificed everything for the girl, for the woman. And I was like, no, that's not how it works. It really kind of made me angry at some point, because I feel like it's too good to be true. I know he's a billionaire, but don't do that, please. I mean, he could have buy her anything. That's true. That is fine. That is what billionaire trope really do in a story. But then to actually sacrifice everything, something that I feel like the man would be okay to never had all those money just to have the girl. That's just so weird. It's just weird. I don't know. I mean, I'm doing this review in an angry tone, in an angry mood for this book. So yeah, but it's still a good one. Still a good one. You can really try to read it. 3.5 still quite high, and so don't worry. It's still a good read. Maybe I'm the only one who feels this way. So please don't take that too much. Don't think about it too much, and just try it for yourself. Read it and let me know what your thoughts. So that's it, guys. That's all the 5 books that I've read in the month of June. I'm still satisfied because most of it I rated 4 stars, and I'm still satisfied with 5 books because that is a good number. Hopefully for July I could read more than this, and hopefully my mood would be better from now on. And yeah, I cannot wait to make another video with you guys. So hopefully I can see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.